Hi Aries, welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your October 2020 tarot reading. Thank you to those of you who've liked, viewed, shared, subscribed, and donated to the channel. I appreciate all of that. As far as personal readings go, I'm actually still taking a break from those. I'm not sure when I'll pick them back up again, but if I do so soon, I'll make an update in the community section of the channel. As far as what we have in front of us, we have a Celtic cross spread as always, and then I also pulled a couple of Oracle cards and a Mudra card for you guys. So we'll get started with the main spread first. And in the main situation position, we have the Two of Wands. So this is actually Aries energy, represents the first 10 degrees of Aries. So if that's your placement, this might resonate for you guys a bit more. But I see this as representing you guys want to make a fresh start in some area of life, possibly wanting to travel somewhere. That's certainly a possibility, but it definitely looks like you're in the place where you're looking to make a fresh start. Could be any area of life, especially since this card does represent your sign, but that's what I see there. It looks like you're ready to take action on something, some kind of expansion, maybe even putting your name out there, since he's holding that globe. If we think of that in the modern terms, it could be as simple as you guys might put your resume out there, right, to see what new jobs might be available, or start a dating profile or something along those lines online. There's just some generic things that come to mind, but that's what I see there. In the challenger obstacle position, we have the Sun and the Three of Swords. So huge contrast of energies there. This energy doesn't necessarily represent Leo energy, but since they're ruled by the Sun, I think about Leo energy with this card sometimes. And then this is Libra energy here, which is your opposite sign. So could just be saying that maybe you are struggling to put yourselves back out there because maybe you still haven't recovered from a previous relationship that might have went south. That's certainly one possibility. Another thing that this could be saying for you guys too is, you're being encouraged to be a bit more light and playful with your energy, and you might be struggling with that a bit because you still haven't gotten over a heartbreak. But it could just be saying that that's actually going to be the key to your reset, to try to loosen up a bit and not try to be, so heavily focused on the past and just come with that light and playful energy. And that could actually be beneficial for you guys. And I do have to say that another thing that came to me with this too, and this won't be for everyone obviously, but for some of you, this can point to you might have been having some trouble conceiving. And if that's the case, I'll come back to that when we get a little bit later in the reading. But yeah, that's what I see there as well for some of you. All right, in the foundation position, we have the Lovers, and this is actually the major arcana card for Gemini. So at the very least, this could represent that you guys might be communicating, again, trying to possibly get your love lives back on track. This can also represent a connection coming your way, and that could be part of what's at play too, where it's saying, hey, you might have this connection that might have arrived in your life recently, but because you still aren't fully over a previous heartbreak, you could be holding yourself back in a way. And again, the message there would be to try to let loose a little bit. I know it could be easier said than done, but it at least seems to be the energy that's at play here, that you're being encouraged to do so. This could just represent a lot of communication as well, usually more light and playful, free-flowing communication. Now we are going to have Mercury go retrograde in October. It'll be in the sign of Scorpio, so that might actually impact communications in a certain way, but overall this definitely looks like a nice energy to have. In the past position, we have Temperance. Excuse me. We have Temperance. This is Sagittarius energy, and could just be saying that you might have had some situations going on behind the scenes for some of you that might have actually been balancing things out. For others of you, this could just be saying you might have been looking at things from a higher perspective and possibly trying to find that balance within your own lives too. For example, what always stands out to me with the foot position in this card is we see the 1 foot on the ground, in the grass, and then 1 foot in the water. So that makes me think of staying grounded, but also being in touch with your emotions, right? So that balance in that regard. So that could have been what you guys were trying to pull off. And that would make sense too if you're looking at that again as far as, you've had heavy energy in the sign of Capricorn for a long time now, which is your house of career and social status. And now we're going to have some energy in Libra in October, which represents your opposite sign of partnerships or relationships. So it would be natural if you have both those things that are on your mind and trying to get the balance between those two. So it looks like that might have been your focus in the past, and maybe you actually were able to do so in the past, but it could just be now with so much heavy energy in your 10th house, it might have thrown that balance out of whack a little bit. So you're trying to reestablish that. In the present position, we have the Hermit. So this is actually the major arcana card for Virgo. And at the time I'm recording this, we're still in Virgo season. Early in October, Venus is going to be moving into the sign of Virgo too. So you guys could just be reviewing your day-to-day routines. Your work life is certainly a possibility too, that you might be reviewing that. Some of you might even be looking at some health routines as well, maybe trying to improve on your fitness. I know in some areas, gyms is starting to open back up, for example, so maybe you're trying to get back into that routine. That's certainly a possibility, and that could even be what that Two of Wands was too. But yeah, that's what I'm seeing there, especially with the Three of Swords and that Sun. It could just be saying that maybe you've gotten a bit out of shape, you feel like, over the past few months, which plenty of people have, no judgment there, right? And now you're like, okay, maybe I need to get back into that fitness routine. So that could be how it's playing out for some of you as well. But really, putting the card back in the spread, he's looking down toward the Temperance. So I feel like this is just saying you're just trying to restore balance in your life, basically. So that's what I'm seeing there more than anything. However that be, like I said, around a romantic relationship, career, work-life balance, you name it. All right, in the near future position, we have the Seven of Cups. So this is Scorpio energy here, and like I said, we are going to have that Mercury retrograde coming up in that sign. And so there can be some confusion, obviously, there, and that definitely looks like a Mercury retrograde type energy, right? What I always say is we can clearly see what's in those cups from our perspective, but this person looks like they're quite literally in the dark. So it could just be saying that you might have some confusion, and like I said, especially if you have some desire to start fresh in some area of life, right, and you put yourself out there, could be saying that you might get a lot of response back. So like I said, if you put your resume out there, for example, you might get a lot of calls. If you start a dating profile, you might get a lot of people who are interested there, right? But you might not be able to quite sift through the options and figure out which one is best. And like I said, if that's the case, try to pace yourselves. There's going to be a lot of tricky energy this month in general. Mercury retrograde being one of them. You guys are going to have that full moon in your sign early in the month, and that's going to be conjunct Chiron, so that could be a pretty intense energy there too. And even that Libra new moon, it's going to be pretty intense. It's going to be like squaring Saturn and Pluto. So there's definitely some heavy energies this month. So don't feel like you need to push yourself to make a decision in any way. All right. In the position of your influence on the situation, we have the Wheel of Fortune. So definitely a great card to have in this position. And also to me, it does say that when you decide that you're truly ready, you definitely can move things forward. So that's a good thing to know too. You might not feel that way right now because, your sign or wherever your ruler, Mars, in your sign is retrograde now. So that could be part of the trick too, right? Where you might feel like you have the desire to start things, but when it comes to you actually putting that energy toward it, you might be feeling like it's a bit of a struggle there. But yeah, seeing this here in this position definitely shows me that, hey, things are going to start to shift in a more positive way. Even if they don't necessarily move at the pace you'd like, you will be able to see at least some kind of forward momentum in a positive direction. So definitely a good card to have there. And we did just have Jupiter start going direct again too, and that does represent Jupiter energy. So this can even be some positive momentum and shifts within your career as well. All right, in the environment position, we have the Six of Swords. So I was saying there with that Temperance card in the past and the Hermit card looking toward it as well. I feel like you guys are just really interested in that as well, just having some peace and quiet, right? So this could just be representing that the energies at play might actually give you an opportunity to do so. At the very least, like I said, with Mars retrograde, you might not want to push yourselves too far, too fast. At the very least, like I said, even if you are, for example, getting back into a fitness routine, just try to pace yourselves a little bit. But yeah, this could even just represent you guys just having a small getaway to kind of decompress, reset your minds. And that could be what that Two of Wands might be representing too. Could just be saying that, maybe you've been considering traveling for a while, and obviously we know traveling's been a bit of a mess too, but could just be saying, that could be what you need to reset if you are going through a bit of a heartbreak of some kind, could just be a long weekend, doesn't have to be a major trip, maybe just a little road trip or something. Help you guys reset in that regard. All right, in the hopes or fears position, we have the Star, which is Aquarius energy, and the Ace of Wands. So again, I'm going to assume these are both hopes, and again, it definitely looks like there's clearly a hope that you guys do want a fresh start in some area of life. Like I said, we covered a few different scenarios that could cover, but yeah, this definitely looks like you are hoping for that, given that we do see the Star card here too. I always point out that this is the card that comes after the Tower, so some of you might have gone through a Tower moment recently, and that could be where that Three of Swords energy is coming into play. But yeah, it looks like you can get some forward momentum going, without a doubt. I do have to say we have the Hangman at the bottom of the deck, so again, I feel like the momentum might not be at the pace you'd like, but I do still feel like at the very least you'll be able to clearly see, okay, there is forward movement. Maybe not at the pace I'm hoping for, but I do see there is some forward movement, so that would be a good thing. And then I think that that's going to have you guys at peace and say, okay, well, I get it. It's not moving at the pace I want. All these crazy astrological aspects going on. I'll just go with the flow for the time being. And speaking of going with the flow in the outcome position, we have the Empress. So this is Venusian energy there, as we could clearly see the Venus symbol right on the card. Usually represents Taurus or Libra energy, although I see this more as Taurus because there's such an earthy vibe to it. But yeah, so you guys, your major arcana card is the Emperor, so this is the feminine side of that energy. This could just be saying that you guys actually do come to that realization, like, okay, let me not push myself too far, too fast, right? Let me just pace myself, and that'll put you in a bit more of an open, receptive energy. For those of you where, like I said, if you were having trouble conceiving, possibly, I feel like this could be a positive indicator there, too, to not give up hope. Because the Empress energy can represent pregnancy sometimes, and given that we have the Wheel of Fortune in your position, too, I would say that's a pretty promising combination. Obviously, we can't offer guarantees in those situations, but seeing those cards together, given that we had that Sun card in the challenge, definitely seems like a positive indicator, especially if you rather see the Two of Wands and the Ace of Wands energy as well. So definitely seems to be some of that at play. So if that's what you guys have been attempting, I would say just try to give it a few more tries, and that could even be saying what it is too. Maybe you guys just need a change of scenery for a bit, right? Maybe get a long weekend away, just quiet away from your usual environment, routine, and that might be what helps move things forward for you guys in that regard. But yeah, that was just another thing that came to be there too, so hopefully that resonated. All right, moving on to the Oracle cards. First, we have Blessed. There's the artwork, and the number is 22. Oh, actually, one more thing just came to my mind too. So before I read this Oracle card and forget the message, another thing I would say too, don't go too crazy with it, but seeing the Wheel of Fortune and the Empress in the outcome position, maybe pick up like a lottery ticket at the end of the month. The reason I say the end of the month is, well, for one, we do see that in the outcome position, but also at the very end of October, there's going to be a full moon in Taurus, which is your second house of finances, and it's going to be conjunct Uranus. So that could be a kind of a lucky aspect for you guys in that regard, where you could have a sudden shift with your finances. So keep in mind when I say sudden shift, that's why I'm saying don't go too crazy with the gambling. But maybe a few bucks here and there, guys might be able to win a little something. So just wanted to put that out there too. All right, so let's see what the Oracle card message says. All right. It says, something wonderful that is unearned and unexpected, grace that is an unforeseen gift from Spirit. The Oracle's message. There are moments in life when, out of the blue, it seems that everything has been orchestrated by divine intervention. You feel blessed in ways that are difficult to express. It's as if the Red Sea parts in front of you and events come together to banish your troubles easily and naturally. You know deep down you did not deserve any of it, and yet here you are. This is one of those times. Let awe and gratitude for all your blessings guide you now. So, interesting the way that started out too. That gave me that vibe again of like that made me think of possibly winning some money, right? Like I said, don't go too crazy with that, but maybe a few bucks here and there. And it's always kind of weird to me too how it says, "Oh, deep down you know you didn't deserve it," but I don't necessarily agree with that, right? But yeah, looks like a pretty positive message overall, definitely, and makes me think of that Wheel of Fortune we see there too. All right, the relationship message says you are moving toward a deepening of intimacy and a unique and sacred partnership. You know you are meant to make this connection. This union, blessed by the divine, will bring transformation and beauty to the world. This is also a sign that, even more important, you're being called to a deeper intimacy with yourself and spirit. With this new development, you will see evidence of grace in your life. So an interesting message there as far as it said, being called to a deeper intimacy with yourself and spirit, because like I said, remember in the beginning, with that Three of Swords being in the challenge position with the Sun, where I was saying if you guys are trying to, have a fresh start in your love lives and there's maybe a past situation you haven't fully let go yet, that's a pretty positive message there too, as far as like I said, especially if you guys are able to get away for a few days, that might be the reset you need, and then you might be able to come back and approach the situation with a bit more of a light and playful energy, which could help move things forward for you guys in that area of life as well. So hopefully that resonated. All right, and the prosperity message says unexpected windfalls and good fortune come your way now. You're in a phase where any difficulties or obstacles that have stymied your success seem to disappear on their own. Be ready to receive. The windows of opportunity will open wide. Accept the blessings given to you now, and don't forget to share. So, pretty cool message there, too. Obviously, that last sentence, I think it's saying that if you guys do win some money, feel free to slide me a few bucks, too. But yeah, like I said, definitely watch. I mean, between what I was feeling there with those cards and then also what we read here, definitely looks like you guys have a little gambling luck. But like I said, do so responsibly. All right, and now the next message we have is Fox Spirit. It says, think on your feet. There's the artwork, and the number is 27. Okay, it says, be alert now, for Fox Spirit has appeared, and you are meant to move swiftly. Let this clever spirit draw out your creativity as you adjust to rapidly changing circumstances with resilience, grace, and astuteness. Fox Spirit helps you to think on your feet, using your best judgment and wits to help you slip into a more advantageous situation. Now is not a time to hesitate, but a time for swift action of the mind, a time to think outside the box and notice the many ways in which you might make a move, aware of your surroundings and always clear on what you deserve and wish to co-create. Trust that your cleverness, guided by Fox Spirit, will serve you well. So, interesting message there. I will say, kind of contradicts a little bit that hangman energy we see there and the Seven of Cups, but I do like the fact that it said, make sure you're seeing your options clearly. So like we said, it looks like you might be exploring multiple options, but if you're not seeing them clearly, I would say take that as a sign to maybe hold back a little bit until you are seeing them clearly. Maybe even take a little time away. Like I said, that might help you reset to where you might see those options more clearly and then move forward. But hopefully that resonated as well. And finally, we have a Mudra card for you guys. So the Mudra you guys got is Chakra Mudra. There it is there. And the keyword for it is consolidation. Alright, there's the info on it if you want to pause it or take a screenshot. And under benefits, it says centering and grounding improves digestion, assimilation, and elimination, reduces gas and bloating, increases vigor and self-confidence. So if that sounds like something you think would be beneficial for you guys, we'll put the name of the Mudra in the description video as always. We'll wrap up there, and I'll see you guys next month. All right, bye.